One thing that I think tech can definitely help out with are supply chains. And as we've known during COVID-19, supply and demand can sometimes be an issue for a lot of different reasons. And right now we're going to talk about that and more. We've got the CEO and co-founder of GoodOps joining us, Divya Demato. Divya, thank you very much for being here. Really, really appreciate it. And I guess to kind of start off, can you tell us a little bit more about what this company is, what GoodOps does, and why you wanted to found it?
Sure, absolutely. So GoodOps is a supply chain sustainability consultancy. We've been around for almost 8 years. And the reason why we founded this company is, or I founded this company, is because we really feel that to make big change, to make the actual changes needed in the world from both a people and planet perspective, it's all in the supply chain. When you think about the amount of workers and factory workers that are impacted making our products and goods, their livelihoods are what makes the business actually stable, but it's also the most important thing when thinking about the human rights and labor rights that we're talking so much about today. Same with the environmental impact. We have to think about the resources that our supply chains are tapping into. And we feel that as much as CSR initiatives are powerful, it's really in the day-to-day operations that you can make real long-lasting and scalable change.
I mean, you've mentioned quite a few different things in there: sustainability, accountability, and environmental responsibility. So that's a lot of things that can be managed through that. And when you look at it like that, I guess one thing that's certainly been shown to light here over the last few months in this new world we live in is that COVID-19 and supply chains and the issues that came along with that. Can you talk to us a little bit about that and maybe how that's been kind of a spur to bring on some more change?
Sure. Yeah. COVID is sort of being seen as an accelerator for sustainability. I think as more and more businesses realize as their supplies literally stopped because of a lack of infrastructure or a lack of sort of, necessary policies in place in some of these developing countries, these brands and these companies really were left, struggling to find the supply and to really meet the demands of their customers. Some companies, of course, really had no demand, but others actually skyrocketed. So I think what COVID has really done is given an opportunity to really help companies rethink about their supplier relationships and really think about it as an extension of their own business versus sort of a third party partnership. And I think what we're also seeing is that when you realize that when the workers are taken care of, when their livelihoods are taken care of, it's safer, it's healthier, and it's again more stable. And so I think that's something that COVID is highlighting. I mean, there's been a lot of talk around environmental impact and the sustainability conversation, but I think COVID has actually really elevated the conversation around social. So that's something that's really important. I think also what's changing is the relationship with the consumer. I think consumers are beginning to really accelerate their own needs and desires in terms of what brands are responsible for. It's no longer, just a campaign here or there. I think consumers really fear for the future. I think they are, especially the sort of next generation, they've been inundated with countless sort of threats, I would say. So I think that they're going to hold brands more accountable, and they're looking to see what the actual business practices of these brands are. And I think investors see the same thing. I think investors are starting to really hone in on, what is the stability of these businesses? How are they thinking about how they're going to be able to deal with future threats, which are inevitable. So I think also we saw that a lot of the ESG focused funds actually performed better post-COVID. So I think a lot of these things are really coming to the surface. And then the fourth biggest stakeholder is the employees. I think they're also really seeing when they kind of come back into the workforce, sort of this post-COVID freeze, is they're going to say, well, which companies are really stabilized? Which companies are really thinking through the policies of their entire supply chain to make sure that there is a long-lasting sort of opportunity and future for them. So it's hitting on all four fronts from my perspective.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, all four of those very, very important. I think, like you said, once people come back in and seeing, this isn't going to be the first crisis that we face. I mean, we've got a lot of crises going on right now, but this is something that, certainly sustainability would definitely help out for a number of different reasons. And I want to say thank you very much for joining us here too today to talk about this, about what you've created here. And for everybody out there who wants to learn more information, what's the best place for me to send them?
So you can find us at GoodOps, GOODOPS.co. It's actually not .com on the screen, so .co.
.co.
But yeah, please reach out. We're in the Bay Area, but as you know, the world is digital now, so we can offer services around the world as we have done in the past, and we're super excited to partner with founders, CEOs, and leaders who really see the future in sustainability and want to have great operations.
Well, Divya, thank you very much for joining us here on Digital Trends Live to talk about this. Congratulations on the success, and excited to see how this can change things for everybody. Really appreciate you being here.
Thanks for having me.